Hello, dear students. This is Dr. Athir Abdulhadi. I'm going to give you this lecture on reading comprehension. Chapter 6: How to be a successful business person. Note that this title, How to be a successful business person, starts with a question word. As it's a question, the word successful is an adjective. We can change it into the noun success and the verb to succeed. The word business person is a neutral one as it refers to both sexes, males and females. This passage, which is I'm going to read paragraph by paragraph and explain the meanings of words and grammatical structures in the process, is adopted from the Wall Street Journal. Have you ever wondered why some people are successful in business and others are not? This introductory paragraph begins with a question also, starting with have wondered. Have wondered. So have plus the past participle form of the verb wonder. To wonder means to ask questions. For example, I wonder, I ask questions to myself. Why some people are successful in business and others are not. Here's a story about one successful business person. The word here's is a short for here is. It's a contraction form. He started out washing dishes and today he owns 168 restaurants. He, the pronoun he, refers to the word in the previous sentence, business person. He started out means he began his career washing dishes, cleaning dishes, of course in restaurants. And today he owns 168 restaurants. He owns. The verb to own here ends with the third person singular s because it is preceded by the subject he. He, she, it requires the putting of the third person singular s to the following verb. So he owns, he plays, he drives, etc. A restaurant, as you know, is a place where customers go to have meals. Zubair Kazi was born in Batkal. Zubair Kazi is the name of this business person. Batkal, what is Batkal? There's a comma, then an explanation what Batkal is. A small town in southwest India. So it's a small town. The word town means belda, which is smaller than a city, but bigger than a village. His dream was to be an airplane pilot, and when he was 16 years old, he learned to fly a small plane. So he dreamed of becoming an airplane pilot or flying an airplane. The word pilot is a noun, which means the person who is capable of flying an airplane. And when he was 16 years old, he learned to fly a small plane. He taught himself, or he was taught to fly a small plane. To fly, the word to fly here is a verb, means to drive this plane. At the age of 23, when he was 23 years old, and with just little money in his pocket, with little money, not much money with him, on him, Mr. Kazi moved to the United States. Moved is a verb which means to travel and stay in his or her destination for a while. He wished to get a job, to obtain or to have a job in the airplane industry. The airplane industry. The word airplane here describes the following word, which is a noun, industry. Which kind of industry? Airplane industry. So the word airplane functions as an adjective. Industry is a noun, صناعة. We can change it into a noun, into an adverb like industrially, صناعيا, and an adjective, industrial, صناعي. In California, that's a very big state in the United States. Instead of that, he ended up working for a company that rented cars. He, the word here refers to Mr. Kazi, of course, ended up working. He finally got a job for a company, in a company that rented cars. Company is an institution which runs a business that rented cars. The word rented is a verb, means to give service for money for a short period of time, like 3 days, a week, a month. It does not mean buying. يؤجر. While Mr. Kazi was working at a car rental company, note that the word rental is an adjective. The word rented is a verb. He frequently ate at a nearby KFC restaurant. He, Mr. Kazi, frequently. Frequently is a frequency adverb, which means for many times, to do a thing for many times. Ate, the past of eat, a nearby close KFC restaurant. To save money on food, not to waste money on food. To save is the opposite of waste. Money on food. The word food is a noun, as you know. He decided to get a job with KFC. Decided is the past form of the verb to decide. We can change the word decide into a noun, decision. To get a job with KFC. He decided means he made up his mind to get a job with KFC. For 2 months, he worked as a cook's assistant. Mr. Kazi worked as a cook's assistant. The word assistant is a noun. We can change it into the verb to assist. It means to help. So a cook's assistant, we can say, is the person who helps the cook. The cook is a person who cooks, who is majored in cooking. His job was to clean the kitchen and help the cook. I didn't like it, Mr. Kazi says, but I always did the best I could. Note that these words, I didn't like it, and but I always did the best I could, are put between 2 quotation marks. These marks are called quotation marks. These, it means that they explain or they give the literal words as they are said by the speaker. Direct speech. They give the direct speech of the speaker. One day, Mr. Kazi's 2 co-workers failed to come to work. So we understand that Mr. Kazi does not work alone in that restaurant. He has co-workers, colleagues. They failed to come to work. Means that they didn't make it to come to the work. It may be because they had an accident or something that prevented them from coming. So that day, Mr. Kazi did the work of all 3 people in the kitchen. And that day, Mr. Kazi did the work of all 3 people. Which 3 people? Himself plus the 2 co-workers. So that is a very hard-working process he did. This really impressed the owners of the restaurant. This really, the word really is an adverb. We can change it into the adjective real. So this impressed the owners. The verb impress means to have the impression about something. ولد انطباعا. You can change it into the noun impression. The owners the people who possess or own the restaurant. A few months later, the owners needed a manager for a new restaurant. They required a manager, a person to manage or to run their new restaurant. They gave the job to Mr. Kazi. Why do you think they gave Mr. Kazi the job? Because he is a hardworking person. He worked hard as the manager, and soon the restaurant was making a profit. The word profit is a noun, which means extra money that is obtained through business. فائدة, ربح. A few years later, Mr. Kazi heard about a restaurant that was losing money. So Mr. Kazi heard let's say he came to know that there was a restaurant that was failing, losing money. Not let's say unsuccessful restaurant. The restaurant was dirty inside. The word dirty is an adjective. You can change it into the noun dirt. And the food was terrible. Terrible means horrible, very bad. Greasy. The word greasy also refers to the food. Greasy food. Greasy is an adjective which means oily. It has much oil in it. And undercooked. Undercooked, not cooked well. So we can consider the word overcooked is the opposite of undercooked. Mr. Kazi borrowed money from a bank. He was given money from the bank. He obtained a money loan, a loan from a bank, and bought the restaurant. For the first 6 months, Mr. Kazi worked in the restaurant from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. 8 a.m. in the morning to 10 p.m. At night. 7 days a week. He and his wife, so he refers to Mr. Kazi, he and his wife, spouse, cleaned up the restaurant, remodeled the front of the building, and improved the cooking. Remodeled is to redesign, to give a new design to the front of the building. Also, the word front can be changed with the word facade, واجهة, واجهة البناء, and improved the cooking. They made some improvement on the cooking. They made it better. So the verb improved can be changed into the noun improvement. They also, who are they? They. We said that he refers to Mr. Kazi. They refers to Mr. Kazi and his wife. They also tried hard to please the customers. Note that the word please is a verb, which means to make them happy, convinced. The customers, we know that the people who attend the restaurant. If a customer had to wait more than 10 minutes for their food, Mrs. Kazi, the wife, Mrs. Kazi gave them a free soda, a free of charge. They don't have to pay for it. It's a complimentary soda. Soda is a type of carbonated drink or soft drink like Pepsi Cola, Coca-Cola, whatever. Before long, the restaurant was making profit. Not many days passed until the restaurant began to make a profit. A year later, Mr. Kazi sold his restaurant for a profit. After 1 year, Mr. Kazi, after becoming his restaurant successful, he bought it and got a profit, extra money. With the money he earned, he obtained, he bought 3 more restaurants that were losing money. Again, he cleaned them up, them refers to the restaurants he bought. Again, he learned the sorry. Again, he cleaned them up, improved the food, and retained the employees. Retained means to hire again, to bring back the employees. Note that the word employees is a noun that ends with a plural s. The singular is an employee, موظف. The word which refers to the person who give them job is the employer, الموظف أو رب العمل، والemployer, الموظف والemployee. We can change it into the noun توظيف, employment. Before long, these restaurants were making a profit too. Also, not many days passed until these restaurants began to make profit too. Today, Mr. Kazi has 168 restaurants, but he isn't planning to stop there. Isn't is a short for is not. Planning. He has no intention to stop there. He's also a contraction form. He is looking for more poorly managed restaurants to buy. Poorly managed restaurant. The word poorly managed is a compound adjective. Poorly is an adverb, and manage is the past participle form of verb manage. Poorly managed restaurants. To manage is to run a restaurant. Poorly in a bad way. I love it when I go to buy restaurant and find it's a mess, Mr. Kazi says. The only way it can go is up. These are the actual words of Mr. Kazi as they are put into quotation marks.